Hello and welcome back. Design number 16. You can arrange this in your project any way you wish, but to make this easy for me, because I always start with the northeast corner, I actually will be working this way. That's the best way for me to carry the yarn over and make minimal exposure on the wrong side. So I will start with my contrasting color yarn. In this case, I'm using purple, and I will make 2 clusters. Then I switch yarn color to main color yarn and make additional 2 clusters to finish our round number 1. And if you're new to this channel, welcome. Also, if you are new to granny square and you need instruction how we make in 1 color granny square, there will be a link in the description, and please check that out. Will help you explaining in details why and how we are making granny square. As you see, I changed my yarn color, arranged the clusters, and now once I finish my last cluster, I will chain 2. But before I do that, in this case, I'm changing yarn color. Now chain 2 and closing round number 1. The reason why I change my color right now, because I will be working that color in the next round. So it's easy for me just to do that. In round number 2, we are making half of the square in the contrasting color yarn. So I'm making 4 clusters. I do carry my main color yarn around because on the other side of the square, I will make 1 main color, 2 clusters, and 1 main color. So right now I'm making 4 contrasting color yarn. I have 3, so I need 1 more. We do have the carry over yarn exposure in the corners, so make sure you place your hook in front of that yarn or under that yarn. Depends how you look at that. Now that yarn I push to the left and I can just make regular cluster. We are switching yarn color after 1 cluster and making 2 clusters in the corner. Now after 2 clusters with the contrasting color yarn in the corner, we making 1 main color yarn cluster, and this will create nice line design. But before you make that last cluster, once again, you place your hook picking up that carry over yarn. You want that yarn exposure to be minimized on the wrong side. And again, I'm switching my yarn color just to close this round because I will use that yarn again in the next round. And let's work round number 3. We need to carry the contrasting color yarn to the other side for the 2 clusters in the corner. So once again, I'm taking my yarn and working stitches around that yarn. So you are so familiar with that already. We did this for many projects, so I speed up this until I get to the next corner. And that's important thing. We have this yarn exposure here, and again, I'm going under and I'm pushing that yarn to the left. Once I do that, I can change the yarn color and work regular cluster with main color yarn. And on this side of the squares, we are doing 2, 2, and 2. Every 2 clusters, you're changing yarn color. Just to simplify this design, I usually try to just count the clusters. So we did 2, now I'm making 2 with contrasting color yarn, and I switch again to 2 with main color yarn. If you have any problems creating this granny square, or you have any questions about or any other of my projects, please leave them in the comments and I will always answer them. Once you get familiar with granny square designs, you can probably create your own and you will enjoy the process as well. Okay, look at that. Number 3, it's done. This is how the design look like now. And with this round, I will start the same way with the exception of carry yarn over. I will leave the lighter color yarn alone and work only my purple stitches. So I will speed up this process again. We know how to make individual clusters. And now let me show you how I carry that yarn over. Instead of carry on the purple side, I will measure a little bit longer than my square, and I will pick up that yarn on my lighter color side, just like that. You want your yarn tension to be loose. So now I will leave my purple color yarn and I will just work my lighter color yarn, working my stitches around that carry over yarn. So let's start with chain 2. And now we're making stitches around that carry over yarn. Just like that. So you'll be surprised how that long yarn that you left will disappear after a few stitches. For some reason, it's always shrinking. When you're working your clusters and you see any yarn exposure on the wrong side, just pick up that yarn and work the stitches around. I do check if I have enough yarn. I don't want my square to be pulled to any direction. Also, with design I'm making today, I will no longer need my contrasting color yarn. It's kind of in my way right now, so let me cut that. So I have more room here. That will be so much better. Also, I can cut the beginning tails. They're secure. And let's work now with main color yarn all the way around. And this is our 4th round. The design actually is 4 rounds. I'm adding additional 5th round for the border. So what do you think about the design so far? You can arrange this again any way you wish. You can place those little flowers on each side or the opposite side and change the yarn color while you're doing this. With 2025 blanket, I make myself some rules. So now, because my design color purple touch round number 4, I'm making 1 round with main color yarn all around. So do that independently if you follow exactly the same pattern as I do. And I'm almost done here with round number 5. We are almost done. Last slip stitch and I can cut the yarn. That's how it look like. And what I do, I usually leave longer tails only so I can minimize exposure on the wrong side. I will go in between and hide those carry-over yarn a little bit. And this is how I do that. If you have your own method, just go for it, do your own way. This is how I do. For me, that's like the simplest way to kind of pull that carry-over yarn down so it will stay in the middle of the stitch. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for crocheting with me today. I hope you enjoyed this project and all the projects for 2025 blanket. Let me know so far which one was your favorite, and are you making them as I do with the border or without? And just a reminder, if you follow exactly the same pattern that I do, we will need some 1 color granny squares as well in 2 different colors. Okay, we are completely done. What do you think about this design? Depending on the color, sometimes looks like a flower, sometimes look like a square. You can arrange them, how I said, in the same direction or the opposite direction. and they look very pretty just using this one square and the whole blanket. I hope you have a wonderful day. See you next time.